So the fiscal cliff is just 40 days away, and whether we go over it or make a deal to avoid it, seems like either way taxes are going up. I thought the Tea Party was going to save us from being taxed to death, didn't you? Wasn't that their rallying cry in the first place? Well, joining me is Gina Loudon, Tea Party leader and co-author of the book, Ladies and Gentlemen, Why the Survival of Our Republic Depends on the Revival of Our Honor. Gina, I got to ask you, are you guys going to ride in and stop this somehow?
You know, I think that it is something that the Tea Party has put massive amounts of energy into. And if you think about it, Melissa, the thing is, the Democrats fight the Republicans fight the Democrats. The Tea Party has to fight on both fronts. So it does require a sort of an extra amount of strategy and foresight and vision, and remembering that the Tea Party is really only 4 years old. So yes, the Tea Party has regrouped. I know there were meetings last week nationally, and the Tea Party is very committed to getting involved in and infiltrating the GOP on the local level. That's all still happening very actively.
Uh-oh. So it sounds like you're not going to save us from this particular crisis, though. I feel like I'm about to get taxed to death, and that's really going to happen. There's no way around it. I mean, I could go to Bermuda, but that's about it. Other than that, it's going to happen.
Well, I think that some things are going to happen, but I do think that the Tea Party candidates, the Tea Party people that have been elected and that do have some degree of leverage in this whole situation need to do what they are best at doing, and that is turn the arguments of the left back onto the left. The reality is, and we all know this, that no amount of taxation of any income group is going to save us from this incredible deficit.
But that argument isn't getting through right now. I hear you. And believe me, I agree with you. But that message, it feels like by virtue of the last election, the rest of the country is not agreeing with that.
I think time is going to prove, though, that this is right. I think this president's going to have to take a look at a legacy that is going to say he is the worst president in all of American history if the economy continues on a crash course as it is right now. So I think this is the real opportunity is just presenting itself for folks that are in the Tea Party, where we can define the narrative and say, really, cutting spending is the only answer. If you tax, and you know this, if you tax everybody that Obama is talking about taxing, the most you can cut off the deficit is what, like 5%, something insanely small? That's not going to do anything. The message has to be that we have to cut spending, and until that resonates with Americans, they're going to have to realize the economy is going to keep declining.
So how do you say that to make it resonate? I mean, how do you say we've got to stop spending, that it's a spending problem, not a revenue problem?
Well, we have to understand that the left is always going to try to appeal to the low information voter. So we have to take the information, make it really simple, uncomplicate it, and communicate it in a narrative that can be marketed to masses of people. And I think saying, you know, if you take the tax cuts that Obama's talking about, I'm sorry, not tax cuts, the tax increases on those making over $250,000 a year, we're really only talking about...
It's a drop in the bucket. Yeah.
It's an absolute, and people don't realize what a small drop, you know, $56 billion or whatever sounds like a lot of money, but we're really talking about reducing this year's deficit to something like 1.15 trillion instead of 1.2 trillion. Big deal. That does nothing. So we have to communicate that, and we have to keep sticking it to them to say that this debt is on our children, on our future, and at some point, the Grim Reaper is going to come and take it back. So we have got to do something about this, and at some point, I think when enough people are hurting badly enough and they realize that, oh, Savior Obama hasn't come and saved us yet, maybe then they'll start listening.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was going to happen a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't really.
Gina, you need both, Melissa.
That's right. Gina, thanks for coming on. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Thank you.
All right.